All right, what's up, guys? This is Mark Augustine from the Mark Show. Like, subscribe, the whole thing. I've been dropshipping for a while, but what this video is more about is Tyler. Well, he was previously dropship Tyler. Now he's Tyler Teak, and that's from the changes from dropshipping. But Tyler, introduce yourself really quickly, and then we can talk about a little bit about. I want to talk about your Walmart experience and move into what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so what's up, guys? I'm Tyler, formerly known as Dropship Tyler, as Mark said. First YouTube channel I ever actually got on was your channel when I did some interviews. What was it, like 3 years ago? It was a long time ago.
Right, more, I think 4 years ago. Because
Yeah,
what year
maybe, yeah.
you were on the channel before you came to Nicaragua.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe 4 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like your channel was the first one that I ever got on. Then I came to Nicaragua and visited you, and Becky was there and your brother was there.
Right.
Got to experience like still one of the most cool experiences of my life so far, just like randomly deciding to come down there and hang out and meet with you guys. Literally the day before I went, that's when I decided I was going, which was pretty crazy. First time I'd ever really been able to do anything like that at the time, because drop shipping just gives you that freedom, or it did back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like then when I went down there, I started my YouTube channel. The motivation was seeing you and Becky and all the other people that you had on your channel, and that's when I just started sharing everything I was doing. And most of it was about drop shipping. Now, as you said, I changed it to Tyler's Take because I wanted to broaden what I was talking about. I don't do drop shipping anymore. The only e-commerce business that I have is my Amazon FBA business. I am no longer doing eBay. I was banned from there, 3 years ago. No longer doing Walmart. I was banned from there about I guess 7 months ago, 8 months ago. Maybe a little longer than that now, but yeah, so Amazon's kind of the last frontier for me that I'm working with, and I'm really happy with the direction that my business is going now. I'm not having any issues. I did get suspended, that was for 11 days, but I got the account back. That was a linked account suspension.
Right.
People who are doing drop shipping now on Amazon, they're getting their account suspended and they're not even able to submit tickets or log into their account because of the suspensions that are coming from drop shipping.
Check that.
And
The suspension from drop shipping and fake tracking when you can't log in, that is a result of, so I looked at a lot of them. A lot of those accounts are like stealth accounts and all type of crazy shit.
Okay.
Because they have some, so if you're drop shipping and using fake tracking and you pretend to be someone else, like fuck. I noticed that. That's funny.
So yeah, like I just feel, I feel better in general about the business model now that I'm through that suspension, that linked account suspension. Some cool stuff came out of that though. I have a viral TikTok that has like 600,000 views just about the the Amazon suspension, and like I basically just wrote like a little thing and had my seller app as the background showing that it had been deactivated, and I said like my account got suspended from Amazon for a linked account, which is not true. I said they crush small businesses every day. Like that was like the wording that I put on the video, and it was just a 7-second video and it got viewed 600,000 times. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. And then, I think I'm not sure what got me unsuspended. Obviously I used an appeal service, but I also was very active on the social media on Twitter. And, I made that YouTube video talking about my suspension. That didn't get many views, but I actually sent it to Amazon when I did my appeal.
Oh wow.
I sent that video to Amazon. I sent that viral TikTok to Amazon, and I honestly think that those two things, and then like reaching out on Twitter and they give you a social media form, which is very interesting. They give you a social media form where you put your handle, like, whatever your Twitter name, and so they can track it, and then you describe your issue. And they email you back, and once you submit all the information. But when they gave me that social media form, I put in, you know, the fact that I have a viral TikTok, the fact that I'm a YouTuber, and you know, all the other things, like all the attempts I've made to try to get my account back. And what's interesting is within a day of that and submitting the new appeal, within actually once I submitted the new appeal, I submitted the new appeal within 5 minutes of getting that message from them telling me to do that after I sent them my social media links. And within 4 hours, my account was unsuspended. So there has to be some link between the fact they saw all this information and my account being unsuspended that quickly.
Right.
The way that, you know, Matt Gambrell thinks it works is if you reach out to them on Twitter and, you know, you have some sort of social media presence, they'll just escalate your case faster. So it could have been the appeal, and then it was, you know, the appeal was escalated faster because of the social media. Yeah. So like I didn't have to wait, you know, 24 to 48 hours to hear back. Instead, it took 4 hours and my account was good to go. The interesting part though about that whole process is I got a phone call from Amazon about like 3 or 4 days later, I guess. And it was a follow-up call from, you know how you get calls from like the Seattle, Washington number, and you're like,
right.
You know, you think, oh, like crap, what's happened to my account now? Like, what are they calling me about? What issue, you know, am I about to get suspended? Because I feel like every time you're about to get suspended, they give you a call to warn you beforehand. At least in my experience, or like, hey, we're gonna suspend your account unless you put together a plan of action, and you know, and I've avoided suspension that way in the past. But this time they were calling to actually ask me for my feedback on the whole process. They said, you know, we understand that you had a difficult process with getting your appeal done. We just want to know like what we can do in the future to make it easier on you, et cetera, et cetera. And I just gave my feedback, you know, about how they don't really tell you what they want to hear, what they want to see, what documents they need. And it's very vague. And they said they do that on purpose so that you don't really know their appeals process. So you can't like manipulate the system.
Wow.
Because if you know exactly what they're looking for, then it's going to allow everything. Yeah, it's going to allow people to basically, like I said, manipulate how they're doing appeals and get appeals done fast. And, you know, maybe some people shouldn't be unsuspended, but if they know how Amazon systems work, then they'll figure out a way to get unsuspended. So yeah, they try to keep everything in separate departments behind closed doors in like a very secret way. But I also asked the girl who reached out to me, the woman who reached out to me about, you know, like, hey, is this something you do for every suspension? Do you reach out to people afterwards, or is it because you saw my social media links? And she was like, well, it's a little bit of both. Like we, you know, they asked me to reach out to you, and I don't know who they were, but she was like, yeah, they asked me to reach out to you specifically, but also, you know, when someone gets suspended and they've submitted a lot of appeals, we do want to like follow up with them. So again, that leads me back to believe that the suspension might have, or the appeal process might have been helped along by the fact that I had that viral TikTok, by the fact I had a YouTube channel. Like they could see that I was a real person and not just some like or not a real person, but, you know, like someone who actually does the business over a period of 3 years documented on YouTube, rather than just some scammer who comes in and creates like lots of accounts and does something sketchy. So yeah, but I was very happy, you know, it took 11 days, felt like 11 weeks, just, you know, when you have that much inventory in Amazon's warehouse, kind of freaks you out a little bit. But the day after I got suspended, I actually did $1,500 in sales, which my average is like 600 to 800. So it's kind of weird. It's weird how
they might have given you a little more traffic just to keep you happy.
it feels like they were trying to like make up for something. My and it's funny too, because the way it worked is I did 1,500, then like 1,200, then 1,000. Now I'm back to doing like 600 to 800 a day. So I really do feel like they gave me a boost for just like a little period of time.
And you mentioned something. You said how people make like scammers will make a lot of multiple accounts. I don't think they could do that anymore.
No, people still buy and sell stealth accounts all the time. You'd have to talk to Ty Nguyen about it. And I know you've had him on your channel, but he knows the process better, where people only need accounts to last for, you know, a couple a couple weeks or like, you know, a 3-week period or whatever, they make sales, they get the money out and something happens where they can keep the money and the account still gets suspended and it's no big deal. I don't know how exactly it works, but Ty, I
Yeah, I don't
think
want
is
like yeah, I wouldn't even touch that shit because you verify an identity and all this stuff, dude.
yeah,
Like for
yeah, it's
Amazon, for my Amazon account, I had to receive the PIN number and do a call, verify my identity, the whole bullshit.
yeah. I don't know how these people
So
do it, man.
yeah, that's crazy. All right, so explain really quickly how the FBA stuff works. What are you doing right now? What type of how much you have to start, how much money you're making, how you're making that money, what's the process? Just
Yeah,
and
so
compare it to the Amazon because I made a video today, or I posted a video today talking about like if you want to do Amazon dropshipping long term, you have to like do a lot of FBA in the middle of that. You can't have a ton of you can't have a ton of retailers. You have to move and have some wholesalers, and you can make return on investment, right? Because you're not putting up money up front, but it's a lot of moving parts, right? So financially, you could just be printing money. That's why Ty likes it.
yeah.
But so explain how much money you're making now, what you had to do to start, and all that stuff.
Yeah, so with FBA, it obviously, like you just said, it requires more upfront capital. I'm using a program called Ecom Solutions, and
Okay.
what they do is they actually have the distributor relationships set up for me, and then I just pay them a monthly percent of profit. You know, just based on what the inventory that I've bought from them and that I've sold. Everything's tracked in their dashboard, and the way that I basically
And
calculate.
you're paying straight. So you're paying before you continue, before you just skip over that. So you're paying
Yeah.
how much percentage to them, and then do you pay for the software or something?
So that's included in that. So basically, I'm paying $497 a month minimum, and
Okay.
if I go over, I think it's like if I go over when I go over $1,600 profit, that's when it kicks in. That's when the 30% of profit split kicks in.
Okay.
And so you're not paying like if you're only making $1,000 a month, you're only paying $497 a month. It's if you're
Right.
making 10,000 a month, you're going to be paying 3,000 a
Mm.
month to Ecom Solutions. Now, what that covers, the reason that I don't view it as like that big of a deal, if I wanted to get a warehouse around here in Charlotte to be able to receive inventory and all of that, the inventory or the space that I would require would be a minimum of $2,000 a month anyway. That's just how much, you know, warehouse space is around here for a small little 1,500 square foot warehouse, which is like the smallest that I've encountered,
Right.
you know, in my area specifically. Then I would have to be doing all the prep work myself, you know, getting the pallets, creating the like pallets, wrapping them up, scheduling
And it also
deliveries
allows you to do FBA and still be
remote.
location independent. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was just talking with someone actually who is doing ecom solutions as well, who found it through my channel. And they were saying they're traveling a lot right now. And you know, they used to do drop
Uh,
shipping where they were making or not making, but they were doing $400,000 a month in sales at peak. And their account got suspended on Amazon for drop shipping. They, you know, Amazon basically said if you do drop shipping anymore, your account's completely done. So he switched to FBA, and
mhm.
he has like $60,000 to $70,000 worth of inventory now within 6 months or 7 months of starting this. And he's just traveling around, clicking buttons online, you know, buying inventory. And that's, you know, that's what most drop shippers want. Like most people
Right.
start
Yeah,
drop shipping
exactly.
because they don't have to do very much work. Um, I'm willing to sacrifice my money for more time. And
Right.
I know for a fact, I not for a fact, but I believe I'm capable of, you know, getting a warehouse, hiring people, spending my own time, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's going to take like, you know, a couple years for me to perfect and set up.
Okay.
Um, they Ecom Solutions, when I went down to their warehouse, they have a $30,000 machine that, you know, just polybags stuff and like it just takes you just put the inventory in, you like, I don't know how exactly it works, but it like melts the bag and, you know, that's it. It creates those multi-quantity packs for you. Where if someone was doing that by hand, it would take a lot longer. You know, you have to have some sort of equipment to do that. They have all the equipment, they have all the warehouse space, they have employees. So you're basically trading what your overhead would be for a profit split, and you're just paying them that percent profit split.
Well, I'll put a
So
link to that program in the description, so the guys watching this could check it out. But
yeah, and like the thing with ecom solutions is it's not for everybody. Like with drop shipping, you can easily get in and you say you have a goal of just making $500 a month with drop shipping, right? Like you can get in and you can list 1,000 products on eBay and easily make way more than that. Like if you're decent at listing. With something like ecom solutions, you know, you have to have money up front. I would say you would need at least $10,000 in order to make it worth your time at all, in order to start making some profit so you can scale up and like buy more inventory with the profit you have. That would be like, you need to have $10,000 of inventory at all times in the Amazon warehouse. To really
and how did you do that? Did you put that on credit, and did you end up having to spend more money on it, or like so people watching this could understand how the money will work? So let's say you spend $10,000 on inventory. How long?
Well, I'll tell you the process of how ecom solutions works in general, right? So you come in, you get set up as a partner, you pay your $497, you have access to a database of products. Right now there's like 80,000 products in there, but if you narrow down the filters, you know, there's only really like a few thousand that you'd want to put a purchase order in for. So once you put in that purchase order, you don't have to pay for the inventory until it shows up the ecom solutions warehouse. So you're not like, say I bought $10,000 worth of stuff immediately when I signed up. That $10,000,
and that's a cost. $10,000 at cost
of the product. Of the products. And say I bought $10,000 worth of stuff. They're sending those orders out to the distributors that they have the relationships with. The inventory is going to trickle in to the FBA or to ecom solutions warehouse at different times. You're not going to have to pay for that $10,000 like right then and there. It could be 4 weeks from now, you get one item, 5 weeks from now, you get another item. And so you get invoiced as the items come in. So one of the things that I tell people as soon as they join the program, start putting in your purchase orders every single day, because you're not like, you're basically spending $497 for the first month to just kind of have access to order the items and set up everything to be profitable at the 3-month mark. So there is there's a cost of doing business. Like there's a cost of getting started. You're probably gonna be in for, you know, $1,000 of like net, like you're gonna have $1,000 worth of expenses before you start making $1, if that makes sense. Like, but if you think about a regular business, like I just mentioned, if I were to go get a warehouse and sign a lease and do this, I would be paying $1,500 the day, or like, you know, a deposit of maybe 3 months or 2 months or whatever. I'd be paying like $3,000 and then be committed to 2 years of a warehouse that I don't know how it goes. So you have to have a business mindset where there's startup cost, and you're not going to really see $1 profit until month 3, more than likely. And the day you get in, you just need to start learning the system as much as you can and start putting in those orders. And like, you're setting yourself up for success later on down the road. And the way I look at it is, every time that I'm in the database sourcing new products, say I put in an order of like $2,000 on one day, and you know that I estimate that that's like $400, $500 profit, because I have right now around a 24 to 25% ROI on the stuff I buy. So if I go in and I buy $2,000 worth of stuff, I estimate $400 to $500 of profit. It took me like 2 hours. Okay, so I just made $250 an hour, but I'm not going to see that. I'm not going to like be rewarded for that time until 3 months down the road, when all of the inventory sells out. So that's how I kind of like keep myself sane and like keep myself motivated, is just knowing that it's delayed gratification and you're not really
because drop shipping, you get that notification, like you get that hit, like you start listing, you sell, you get money, you get that notification right away. You're like, I'm doing things right. I see what you're saying. It's a big difference. It's a different mindset. And then how much inventory have you ramped up to now?
So I have $25,000 worth of inventory in there right now. I have like $40,000 worth of back ordered stuff, which means that like that's stuff that, you know, is going to trickle in over the next few months.
Right.
My goal is to get to $100,000 of inventory. The way it works, and like I've modeled this, you know, I used to be a financial analyst. So I have like Excel modeling experience and like figuring out kind of like forecasting and all that. The way that I've figured out with the numbers, the way everything works is you're going to make about 10% of like on a monthly basis, as long as you do the sourcing, you know, semi correctly. You don't have to be perfect with it, but you still have to know what you're doing. Just like with anything. If you know what you're doing and you buy the right inventory, you're going to make about 10% a month profit of what your inventory value is. So, you know, so if you have $25,000 worth of inventory in there, you're going to probably make about $2,500 of profit a month from FBA. So my goal is to get to $100,000 of inventory, make about $10,000 a month in profit, and just kind of scale up from there. So with drop shipping, you know, I had months where I was making $30,000 and not putting a single dime into it up front. It's a very different mindset, but it's a long-term mindset. It's more of, you know, like a sound investment. I feel like where I'm putting my capital, even though it's not like a cash flow heavy business, you know, you're not pulling money from the business every month like you are with drop shipping, since everything's put on a credit card and, you know, whatever. And you just pay the credit card off and, you know, you keep the difference. But with this, you really just want to like keep reinvesting the money. Just like if you're buying, you know, rental properties, you get money, you buy another rental property, it pays itself down, you build equity, you know, whatever, you get another one. That's how I feel about the way that the FBA wholesale business works. Is you're not really paying yourself a ton of money. You kind of need another income source in order to like make this work. Just because, you know, I wouldn't pull money out of the business. I would just keep reinvesting it if you know, you're going to do this and really want to make it a long-term plan. So you need money to live off of too, which is why, like I said, I have other income sources as well, along with, you know, this reinvesting. I'm not really paying myself from the business.
Right. Because when I'm playing with FBA private label, and that's that's kind of like the planning. Like I ordered the first product, I got it. You have to spend like $3,000 to get it, but I have to run ads and all the shit. So I'm still playing with the idea, because with that, not playing, I didn't execute because I know I want to build it for like 2 years and then sell the product. So that's kind of like my goal with that.
Yeah, exactly. So if you do something like that, like I know people that you have, you know, started with $15,000 worth of inventory and private label, and now they have $1 million business, but they've never taken a dollar out of the business.
Yeah, exactly.
They can just sell it and they'll make all that money on the back end, just like with a rental property. Like I said before, like, you know, you keep the equity going and paying down whatever the mortgage, all that. Eventually you have a big chunk of money when you go to sell the house. Same thing with this type of business, you know, or my FBA business. So yeah, that's how I view this. And it's more of a long-term play. Oh, and what I was getting at earlier is, you know, say you put money in the stock market, right? You're expecting to make 10 to 12% a year if you have small cap stocks and you know, whatever, and the returns are pretty solid. Like, let's just say 10%. So you put $100,000 in the stock market, you're making $10,000 a year on that money. With FBA, you know, people think, oh my God, I have to invest $100,000 in inventory to make 10K. That sounds horrible. But like, where else are you going to spend $100,000 and make 10,000 in a month? There's really nowhere else. There's nowhere else.
Okay. So with the process, so Ecom Solutions has trading to show you how to source and all that stuff. I know you were helping a couple of people with the process.
Yeah, I have some YouTube videos how to do it. They have videos how to do it as well. It's really more of like a technical skill of being able to read Keepa charts and figuring out like, okay, what is the price of this product, you know, 3 months ago to now? Like, how has it trended? Are there people coming in like
same price?
And like, are there people coming in constantly, you know, lowering the price and like putting up what I call a price wall. So if you have someone coming in and restocking a bunch of units at once and making the price really low on people, you have to get through, all that person selling all their units before the price can go back up to what it's been. And you kind of need to look at these trends on Keepa, and you need to be able to read graphs, kind of like if you're day trading and you're reading graphs of like how a stock moves. It's very similar to that. And there's a lot of data in Keepa on buy box history and, stock history of certain sellers, price history of certain sellers. So it's more of like a technical analysis type of skill where, you can really get a feel for what a product's going to do before you buy it. And that's really important to develop those skills because you are investing the money up front. Whereas drop shipping, it's not so much more of like a technical skill. It's more of just like being able to manage people, I guess, and like being able to just teach them how to source, like list as many products as they can. You don't have to be there's really not much skill in drop shipping. As like, the people that couldn't make it in drop shipping, it shocks me because
right. Because
you don't really have to do anything. Like it's literally put up as many products as you can.
Right, but a lot of people put up a lot of products and then raise the price too high, and people chasing like you. In my experience, I'm training these two guys on Facebook dropshipping right now, right? People look at dropshipping. I think because of how people say it's so easy, people even with listing, they'll just raise the price and they want 50% profit.
Yeah.
People don't think about what they're doing most of the time. I think that's why a lot of people fail in dropshipping. Like when you have a lot of VAs, they're like, look, I list 2,000 items. But when you look at the margins, there's no thought involved. There's zero thought. It's not as involved as trading and involved in doing research with FBA because you invest in money. So I think that's why a lot of people who drop shit is like, fuck it. I'm not investing any money. Let me just list, right? But I know what you're saying. It's hard to like not be successful in dropshipping at all. That's kind of bizarre.
I think people come in and they get themselves underwater with like buying all these different types of software like right away before they've scaled up and actually learned it. And I think that might be where the failures come from, is like, okay, this software said that if I list 5,000 products using their automatic whatever, like Sale Freaks used to do back in the day, then I'll make a lot of money. And maybe that was true back in the day, but things have changed and it's different now. So where, you really need to be able to keep your costs down in order to scale up. If you don't have much money to start drop shipping, right? Like if you can't afford 3 to 4 months of losing money, then that's where you're probably going to fail in drop shipping. But outside of that, I was talking with someone about this just yesterday on the phone. Actually, I've learned more about Amazon and more about like, how to download certain Amazon reports, what kind of like how to handle Amazon cases, like with support, request, all that stuff. Like I've learned more about that in the past 7-8 months of doing this than I ever did drop shipping. When I did drop shipping, I relied mostly on my VAs to just handle customer support.
Really? And, you started off in the beginning and built a team. You didn't.
Yeah, I never did Amazon like on my own ever.
You did eBay on your own, but you did.
I did eBay on my own. Yeah, eBay. I scaled up eBay to the point where I was able to quit my job and I did all my customer service myself even like while I quit my job, like I was still doing customer support myself in that 6th month.
Wow.
But then when I finally left my job and did it full time, that's when I hired my first customer support person. Before that, my VAs were all listing VAs. I just didn't trust anybody to do customer support for me. Like I wanted to be the one to make sure that I got the positive feedback on every single.
And I'm the other way around. I don't trust people to grow the account and make more money unless they get a percentage. So I have always was the one, like I'm very meticulous in how I choose products to sell. And on the customer support side, I'll just provide more like scripts and so on for them to deal with. And then, but I know what you mean, because it depends on where the VAs are from, their customer support and their English is challenging.
Well, with eBay, it was kind of the point where people were doing the snoptimization, like sniping and optimizing listings at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so my VAs, it was very easy for me to scale up. They were just sniping people and taking their titles and maybe like rewording the titles a little bit.
yeah. Okay, okay,
So they
okay,
didn't
okay.
really have to they didn't have to think too hard. They just had to find the stores and steal the items.
Right. So what I would do is I'll find the stores. I'll create a list of like 200-300 stores, and there's like now, like on dropshipping on Facebook that I'm doing now on eBay. That's what I'm doing. I find the stores and then have them go at it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good way to do it. And I did that back in the day too. Um, but yeah, in terms of like listing on Amazon, listing on Amazon was super easy. They don't have to create titles. They don't have to do anything like that. They just had to like spider off of other sellers. So yeah, I was more focused on the customer service part for eBay. And then for Amazon, I was hands off on everything because by the time I started doing Amazon, like I only did Amazon after I was full time with eBay. Before I was,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. You were
focusing on
like
eBay.
grinding on eBay. I remember that.
Yeah. And so once I
Because
got
when
to
you
a
got to
point,
Nicaragua, you're doing both, no?
yeah, I was doing both once I got to Nicaragua. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
because yeah.
but my account got suspended like on Amazon within like 2 weeks of me doing drop shipping on there because of some sort of issue with like a credit card or something. It was so stupid, but
Mm.
everything got fixed. Oh, I updated my bank account. That's what it was. And like they just
Yeah.
suspended me because they thought there was
And
like fraud
refunded a
going
ton of
on.
money and all type of shit, no?
It was,
I
yeah, it
think I
was
remember.
weird.
I think I remember some crazy thing happened.
But it was weird. It was like not a suspension for any performance thing at all. They literally just thought it was like someone logged into my account and changed the bank account, so they suspended me because they thought there was
Okay,
fraud
okay,
going on.
okay.
So anyway, I got that resolved and everything was pretty smooth with Amazon for a while after that. I didn't have any issues, but then Walmart came along and I was making so much from Walmart that I kind of just quit Amazon dropshipping and I just had my team. I had my team 100% focusing on Walmart. I thought that I would be making $100,000 a month, within 6 months of it, because within like 2 months of it, or 3 months, I was making $30,000 in a single month. And I just saw the scalability and all of a sudden it all went to shit. Like just like eBay flagged people, like Walmart kind of did the same thing where I went from like pumping out $1,000 a day profit, no problem. Like some days 1,500 to where I couldn't make $300 or $400 a day on the same listings. And
Why?
I
Because of
it
competition?
I think competition got a lot worse, and I think maybe Amazon changed some. I mean, Walmart changed something.
Walmart. Yeah, because
But
right now, competition is a lot of people got suspended. So you're not seeing anyone at Walmart, right? So
yeah,
I have a Walmart account from last year and I like turn it on for like 2-3 weeks. Like last week, I think we sold like $6,000 or $7,000. I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's
not a
so
lot of
easy.
profit. You make like 2 grand, but it's stupid. It's just like on and off. But long
Yeah.
term, I used to trade foreign currencies. Walmart is like that. It's so fast, and you have to upload and track numbers so fast. You have to keep an eye on all the moving parts really quickly.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of nuances with Walmart that ended up being like the downfall for me. But overall, I was handling everything pretty well. My valid tracking was pretty bad and all that, but like that was not what got me suspended. I got suspended purely for just, drop shipping. And
Mm.
they were holding my money for a long time. And
For like
I just
eight
decided
months.
yeah, 8 months was, yeah, my final payment was 8 months after I got suspended.
Fuck.
But the weird thing is, dude, this is crazy. But the first time like I've literally ever shed a tear over e-commerce was Walmart. And
Oh
it
my
was like,
God.
it was the scariest situation ever, man. So I told you I had 50,000 products. All right.
Right.
They suspended me. I like put in a appeal, whatever, all that. I didn't hear anything back. I had this email, and it's weird because it's not even the main email that was attached to my Walmart account. I don't know why the email would go to this account. It was like my customer service email on Walmart, but um they sent an email to that account saying, okay, your account's unsuspended. We reactivated all your listings. I had no idea my store was reactivated, right? Like I just didn't log in for like a week because I was like, okay, there's no point in me logging in. There's no
What?
emails, whatever. My whole store was reactivated. All of my listings that I had deactivated were reactivated. 50,000 listings. Okay. I looked and I had over $150,000 worth of purchase orders that people had put in that week. I did $150,000 of sales without ever knowing I did a sale. So I'm sitting there freaking out because Walmart's got, 50, 60 grand of my money, and I've got $150,000 worth of orders that I have to cancel because I'm not fulfilling them. Most of the orders, the software that I was using to reprice the items, it was not repricing the items anymore. So most of the orders that I sold were either out of stock or they were below what would be a profitable sale. So I can't fulfill those orders. One, two, Walmart had all my money that at the time that I needed to fulfill the orders. Like I wasn't gonna put it on credit card and like have the credit because I had paid off my credit card at that point. I wasn't gonna put the money back on a credit card and then Walmart hold even more of my money, like another 120K worth, and rack up interest charges. So I just went through and first of all, I put my head down and I was just like, I got teary eyed. I was like, I'm fucked. Like I literally thought to myself, this is it. Like I'm never getting my money back from Walmart. Like imagine though, like imagine the feeling of waking up and logging into your Walmart account randomly and seeing that all 50,000 of your
do you think that's why it took
reactivated.
8 months to get the money back?
I have no idea. I got my account. I asked them after that. I asked them to terminate my account instead of suspend it so that wouldn't happen again. So like my Walmart account is permanently closed and it's because I asked them to do that. And so I sent them an email. I told them to terminate my account. I told them the situation. They never actually responded back to the whole thing, but I literally went through and I just click, like canceled all of the orders. And
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I would say, God, it had to be a couple thousand orders.
Yeah, if it's
probably a couple.
Let's say $100. You're talking about $1,500.
I mean, yeah. So, and it was, I had items that were $30 and whatever, or $20. So
it might be like,
yeah, it was a couple thousand. It was a couple thousand orders,
Christ.
man. So I canceled a couple thousand orders in one day, with every single one saying the customer requested to cancel. I bet you no one else has ever had, dude. Like you could talk to.
I'm sure no one on earth has ever done that.
Exactly. So that's a crazy story, man. I don't know. I don't even know if I shared that on my own YouTube yet, but that's definitely one of the worst days of my e-commerce like life. I actually thought it was worse than getting it was worse than the initial suspension on Walmart. It was worse than the like suspension I just had on Amazon. Because those things, I feel like they're fixable. But when you have $150,000 worth of inventory or worth of purchases that they're asking you to fulfill, it's like there's nothing I can do about that. The situation's only getting worse because now I'm going to piss off Walmart by having 2,000 customers contact them and say, "Hey, I didn't request to have this canceled." And like I had all these support tickets and stuff that I basically had just like this copy and paste thing, and I stopped answering them eventually because you can imagine when you cancel that many orders, you're going to get people messaging you saying, "Hey, I didn't like, why did you cancel my order?"
Right.
And so, I mean, I had like hundreds of those where I just went through and just, copy paste, whatever. And if they replied back, I just didn't respond. I mean, at that point I was kind of over Walmart. Like, I know that sounds like a bad business practice, but what are you really going to do? Like I asked them to terminate my account. So it didn't matter anymore for me the only thing I was worried about was not getting my money back. The thing that eventually got them to send the rest of the funds was me saying that I was going to hire a lawyer and basically sue them to get the funds back. And I didn't
Yeah,
care if
because
it
I
cost
talked
me
to other
more.
Walmart ex-sellers that were thinking about suing them, but they got the money back.
Exactly. So I think at the end of the day, that's what got my money back. I also think Walmart kind of feel like would know that they're at fault for reactivating a seller's listings when I actually had them deactivated. Like I manually went in and deactivated a lot of those listings previously, and every single one that was deactivated or like retired, I guess is the word on Walmart. When you retire a listing, it like just deactivates the listing. It never actually deletes or anything. They had automatically put all of those back into active, which is like, why would you do that? Like, why would you take a listing that a seller has retired before he even got suspended and make it active again? It makes no sense. So Walmart was at fault. Walmart was at fault as well in that whole situation, but that was a scary day, man. I still remember it like yesterday, just like I even called my parents and I was like, I'm so fucked. Like it was
Jesus.
it
Okay,
was
so now
crazy.
you're going down the nice calm path.
Yeah, FBA, nice calm path. It is. You know, you still wake up every day though, and this is something that I literally just said in my Discord group with all the FBA sellers I'm working with. You literally wake up every day and there's like 5 or 6 things that you need to be aware are probably going to go wrong on a daily basis. Like one is sending Amazon or inventory into Amazon, them losing it, or them like say it's a multi-pack quantity, they'll separate the units out and not sell them as like a 12 pack and instead sell each one individually, and you'll get a bunch of returns. Price increases from suppliers, like that happens where the suppliers that work with ecom solutions. So ecom solutions will let you know if anything increases in price before they buy it. But if things are increased in price less than $1, the sale still goes through. And the reason is because the suppliers, they won't notify ecom solutions sometimes because prices are just subject to change just because of inflation and whatever. And so that's kind of one of the downsides of working with FBA distributors is the fact that you find something that maybe costs $3 and it's profitable, but then it goes up 75 cents in price, and now your margin just went from $1 to 25 cents, where that's not worth it. So you just kind of have to sell that and take the loss, the risk. And then buyers damaging items and returning them and you taking losses on those. ASINs get deleted where like Amazon says there's missing information, or like it's missing, it doesn't have the correct SKU, so they delete the Amazon listing out of out of the catalog completely, and your inventory gets stranded. You have to bring the inventory back, then ship it back onto another ASIN that's the same. So there's all these little nuances every day that you have to be mentally prepared for going into this business. You're still going to make money, but that's calculated into what I was telling you, where like if you didn't have all those problems, you'd probably be making $13,000 a month on $100,000 of inventory. But because you have those issues that are just going to cost you money on a daily basis, that's where, the $10,000 a month profit comes from. I do account for those things. Like when I'm modeling what I'm going to make off of, my inventory and whatever, I know there's going to be losses, just like with any business. People, if you own a convenience store, people are going to steal money or steal inventory from you. And you're going to have to like be able to figure out a way, okay, how much inventory am I going to lose, a year from people stealing, or how much, whatever, like how much is going to go expired and I'm just going to have to dispose of it. Like all of that stuff is just whatever business you're in, there's going to be problems that you have to be able to solve, or at least be mentally prepared for. Because a lot of these things, you can't really solve the issue. You just have to deal with it once it happens. Like there's nothing you can do in advance to stop.
Any business has problems that come up that you're not going to be 100% prepared for.
Yeah. And if you try to make everything perfect, you're just going to waste your time on playing defense all the time, where you should be playing offense, finding new products to source to make you more money. Because like I just said, there's problems that are preventable and there's problems that you just know are going to happen that you can do nothing about. If I send a 12 pack into Amazon and they sell it as individual units, there's literally nothing I can do to stop the warehouse team at Amazon from screwing me over. Like
Right, right.
that's on their training. That's on like, you know, whatever. I can put in a case with Amazon and hopefully they'll do something about it. But so far, all of the issues that I've had with the inbound shipping, they don't do anything about. If they lose the inventory, they'll pay you back. But if they do something where like I just said, it's very difficult for them to investigate and figure out where they went wrong. But again, that's nothing you can control. What you control is how much you source on a daily basis. So that's
Right,
what I
right,
focus on.
exactly. Okay, okay,
But
okay. So you said you have, I'll join the Discord group. I don't use Discord a whole lot. I'm part of a Discord group with Darius because he's doing some NFT crazy shit. And I tried out some stuff with his, I did one flip and it worked crazily enough. I made like
huh,
3 grand.
that's
But I
crazy.
don't,
Yeah,
I don't, I don't, that's
the
a
crypto
young boy's
Discord
thing, dude.
groups. What's that?
Crypto is a young boy thing.
Yeah, I mean I own a lot of crypto, but it's just buying. It's just like I'm just holding on to it now. I used to be actively like trying to figure out, okay, is the market going to drop? Is it not? But
Oh,
like
fuck
in the
that.
long run, it's better just to like spend your time doing other stuff and just buy and hold it. I think
No,
it's a
but
great
he's not playing,
investment,
but
but
he's not playing with on the investment wise. He's flipping NFTs.
yeah, yeah. That's a whole nother
That's
thing.
a whole other thing,
Yeah,
dude.
for sure.
I'll have him
Yeah,
on the channel
I
next week to talk about that.
that's awesome. Yeah. I was looking today actually. One of the ones my brother bought back in the day. When I say back in the day, like last October, so like 6 months ago. It was at, I think the floor price was like 3 ETH and it dropped down to 1 ETH. And I was like, wow. He bought two of them. So he's lost like 12 grand or something on those. But
Jesus. Now I
yeah.
bought the one I bought it at 0.18 ETH and I sold it at 1.42 or something like that.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, you have to be part of those Discord groups though. They're kind of like pumping the price up of the community NFTs. Like they're not.
I'm
There's no
not,
really no
but
like
you know,
utility
I've
to them.
known Darius for a long time. That's why he is like, Mark, you want to try this? I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be
Nice.
there looking at the pumps and all the bullshit. So I just
Yeah,
trusted him.
for sure.
But yeah. All right, dude. Well, this is, and how far, so you want to get up to 100,000 in FBA, right?
Yeah. $100,000 of inventory, and like I said, I feel like I'd be making $10,000 a month. Off of that inventory,
Okay.
like net
Okay, nice.
profit. Yeah,
All right, dude.
that
Well, and well, when next, how often do you scale? Like every month, do you increase your inventory? That's your game plan?
Yeah, I just so with FBA, it's really a lot of it's buying test orders of things like that. You think, you read the Keepa chart and you like say,
Right.
okay, this is a good buy. So you buy the inventory, you maybe buy 12 to 30 units of it, and if it doesn't work out, you don't replenish it.
Ah, so
If
you do not test order first. You're not just ordering like $2,000 worth of it.
no, like now I have products where I have one product actually in my store currently, and this is my best product I have. I have two products like this actually. One of them's out of stock right now, but I do 300 unit order buys at a time, and I probably should do more, but I'm selling like 15 to 20 units a day. It cost me $2.70 to get the unit, and I'm making $2.50 every time it sells. So
Ah,
that
okay,
one I'm
okay,
almost
okay.
making 100% ROI on. And so I have two products like that, both candy, and yeah, like those initially I bought a very small quantity of, but then once I saw
Mhm.
how fast they sold, I went back and I bought 300 units of each. Um, and yeah, like I said, I'm out of stock on one. Like going out of stock is one of the worst things you can do. So as soon as something goes,
Yeah,
like
because
starts
someone will
moving,
jump on, more people
well,
jump on. You have the
one of
opportunity
well,
to lose the
one of the yeah,
traction.
well, one of the things is first of all, you obviously lose profit potential. Second of all, Amazon views that as you not being a reliable supplier for the product.
Uh,
And so they'll actually cut back your buy box time, where if you're the same price as somebody who is always in stock, that person's going to get more buy box time than you, because
yeah.
they're literally always like adding value to the product by having it in stock. Um, whereas like you're not as reliable to the Amazon algorithm. So yeah, going out of stock really bad. I try not to on once I see something moving, like if I do that test order and I have 12 units and I ship it in, and the day it hits the warehouse, I see that it's sold, then I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
well, I need to go ahead and buy more of these, because if it's sold the first day that it's in there, I'm gonna sell out before, you know, I put another replenishment order in. And it's really about just constantly finding those winners and replenishing the inventory on the winners and just cutting your ties with the losers. And eventually you have this big store of just all pretty solid items. Obviously things change and there's more sellers that come on listings. So every time you do a replenishment of a certain item, you actually kind of need to be aware of who else is on there and kind of how the data has changed within the the listing as a whole. And sometimes a really good winner could turn into a loser on your next replenishment, and you just have to be aware of those things.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot different. So okay, and then when you get up to 100,000, that's when you start to pay yourself. That's your goal.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'll probably just keep reinvesting the inventory, but you know, like I have, like I said, I have other income sources coming in. So
no, I know, but what's the end goal? Because if you keep trying to reinvest, is it that you can't now sell this business as producing like 10,000?
you can sell the business, I'm sure, eventually to somebody. But no, I think, you know, I don't.
You're just growing your money. You're just growing your money.
Yeah, just growing my money. I guess $100,000 is a good goal to have in Amazon, and then maybe start spreading it out to other sources as well. Like invest more in crypto, whatever. But yeah, I mean, the end goal with Amazon, I don't really have one. It's more of just, this is where I want to be, because I know that I'll make 10,000 a month, which seems like a cool number to make. I mean, off of FBA. So yeah, that's really where my head's at with that. And hopefully I'll get there.
Okay, sweet. That's interesting, dude. So we talked about it briefly. We've done a video, but like we've talked about it off camera. So maybe I can have you back in a couple of weeks and you could share your screen and show exactly how you do, like some of it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I could do some product research, you know, show what I'm buying within the Seats database. That's the Ecom Solutions database. Like live, I guess, and you can ask questions while we go through it. I think that would be actually very helpful.
The guys on YouTube will learn a lot from that.
Definitely.
All right, sweet. So guys, if you're watching this, it's been like an hour. I think like the video and subscribe. I know I didn't say that before, but these conversations, I just hope that you guys will learn from. And you could check out Tyler's YouTube channel, ask any question in the comment section. I'll put a link to the Discord group. I'll put a link to the software. And thanks, dude. That's cool as fuck. So
yeah, for
I'm
sure,
excited to see you get to that $100,000.
Yeah, no, hopefully there's a nice update coming. I mean, all I got to do is just keep putting in the purchase orders, and I'll get there eventually. So yeah, appreciate you having me on your channel, though.
All right, dude. Talk to you another bit. I have a call with one of the dudes that manages my Walmart account now. So that's what I'm gonna do right now.
Nice. That's what's up, man. All right, well, I'll talk to you later.
All right, cool. Yeah, dude.